How's it going, everybody? Welcome to the channel. In today's tutorial, I'm going to be showing you guys how to make your character do an air dash. This works for flying and grounded characters. So I'm going to show you a quick demo of how it's going to work. This is a game that I'm currently developing that has a flying character in it, and he has the ability to dash in any directions, and it is all relative to wherever the camera is facing. So the character will move in the direction the camera moves, and just like that. So let's hop into it. Alright, so I've created a brand new third-person character template, and I've given my character the ability to move up and down, and that's just for this tutorial. If you'd like to know how to do that as well, make your character that can fly, let me know in the comments and I will go ahead and make that tutorial for you. But for today's tutorial, this is just going to assume that you already have a character that's able to fly, and we're going to go from here. Okay, so the first thing we're going to do is open up our content drawer, and we're going to navigate to third person folder, blueprints, and open up our third person character. And inside of here is all of the movement logic for our character. The first thing we're going to do is we're going to scooch all of this logic right here to the right a little bit. Give us a little bit of space to work with. And then right here, this is the movement input. And you see these values right here. What we're going to do is we're going to promote those to some new variables. So right click on them, hit promote to variable. And the X value, we're going to do LR. And then we're going to do the same thing for the Y value. Right click, promote to variable. This one's going to be FB. And that's left, right, and forward, backwards. So let's go ahead and plug those in right here. Okay, so next thing we're going to do is we're going to find some empty space. We're going to right click and create a new custom event. We're going to call this one dash, just like that. So now what we're going to do is pull out the values that we just got. So we're going to get L and R, and we're going to get F and B. And what we're going to do, we're going to pull out of the L and R. We're going to type greater. And then for the value, let's put 0.1. And then we're going to create a branch and plug that into the condition. So what this is doing essentially is it's asking if the value on the x-axis, if it's greater than 0.1, then we're going to go out of the true. And if it's false, we're going to go out of the false. And then that's going to help us decide which direction we should make the dash go in. Cool. So next thing we're going to do, we're going to drag out of the LR again, and then this time we're going to do less. We get a less than, and then we're going to put negative 0.1. And then let's create a new branch here. Oh, to create a branch, what you do is you hold down the B button and you can left click for a shortcut. Let's go ahead and plug that into the condition, and then we're going to drag out of this false and put it into the new branch. Lastly, we're going to get this FB value, we're going to pull out, and then we're going to do greater, and then we're going to type in 0.1 for the value. We're going to create a new branch right above it, and we're going to plug the false into this branch. Okay, cool. So the next thing we're going to do, we are going to get our camera, we're going to pull that out of here, and then from here we are going to get the right vector of the camera. There we go. And so with the right vector, what we're going to do is we're going to pull out of here. We're going to do multiply. And then for all these, we are going to put -1. And then out of here, we're going to pull out again and multiply. But for this one, what we're going to do is we're going to right click this bottom node here, and we're going to convert the pin to a float, just like that. And then we're going to right click this new float that we just created and promote it to a variable. We can name this dash distance right there. Cool. So go ahead and compile, and then let's put in a value for that dash distance. Let's do 1400. You can always change that later. And then next thing we're going to do is we're going to grab our character movement component and bring it into the blueprint. We're going to pull out and get the velocity. So we're going to set velocity. It should be down here at the bottom. Go ahead and get that. And then out of here, we're going to plug into the velocity. And then we're going to pull out of this top true and then plug it right into the setter. Cool. So next what we're going to do, we're going to copy all this logic right here, paste it directly beneath it. But this time what we're going to do is we're going to delete this first multiply node right here. Go ahead and delete that, and we're just going to plug it straight into it, just like that. And then out of this second true, we're going to plug that right into there. Cool. So for the next thing, oh, I almost forgot to plug this one in there. Don't forget to do that. So lastly, what we're going to do, let's go ahead and copy these. Control C, Control V. But this time what we're going to do is we're going to delete this right vector on both of them, and we're going to replace those with forward vector. So get forward vector. There you go. Pop that in there. Go ahead and copy this. Bring it down here. Just like that. Okay, cool. And actually, I just realized that we should probably swap these around. Let's do this right there. And then let's drag them up so we can fit them in a little better. Okay, so let's go ahead and plug this true into the top one, and then the false into the bottom one. And let me take a quick look real quick. I think I might have these top ones swapped as well, so let's just go ahead and swap those as well. We'll find out once we start playing it. Okay, and we'll just boop and boop. Okay, cool. So that should do it for the actual dodge logic. Now what we need to do is create a new input action for the actual dodge button. So what we need to do is go to our content drawer, go to the input folder, go to actions, and then in here, what you're going to do is you're going to right click, input, and then hit input action. So I've already done this, and I've labeled mine IA dash. After that, we're going to go back to our input folder. We're going to open up the IMC default. And in here, what you're going to do is you're going to click on this top plus icon to create a new one here. I'm just going to do it for demonstration purposes. And then what you do is you click, and you're going to find the new input that you just created, which was IA dash. And then what you do is you're going to click this key value right there, and then that assigns the key that you want it to be. So I chose the left alt button as my dash button. Cool. So once that's done, let's go back to our third person character blueprint. We're going to right click. We're going to find IA dash for the new input we just created. And then what we're going to do is we're going to call this dash event with the new dash button. So out of started, we're going to drag out, and then we're going to call dash. Okay, and that should pretty much do it. Let's go ahead and compile the blueprints, and then we'll go back here and test it out. So if I'm moving forward and I hit alt button, boom, I'm dashing forward. If I press backwards, left, right, and it's all relative to wherever the camera is pointing. So just like that. So yeah, that should pretty much do it. And if you want your dash to be faster or slower, what you do is just go to your third person character template. We're going to the dash distance variable, and then whatever you put in here is going to change that variable. So if you want it to be something crazy like 2000, you're going to dash super fast. Oh yeah. And of course, you can always mess with the gravity settings and the air friction settings in the character movement component. Right now, my character is super glidey. And then you can also, the dash will work just as fine if you're moving on the ground as well, which is really nice. I know in a lot of other tutorials, they like to use the launch function, which works great if you have a grounded character, but if you have a flying character, what that function does is it basically just makes them fall to the ground once you've pressed it, instead of, you know, continuing to stay in the air. So yeah, there's that, guys. Like I said, again, if you want me to create another tutorial teaching you guys how to make a flying character, just let me know, and I'd be happy to do that for you. Otherwise, I'd super appreciate if you guys subscribe to the channel, and I will continue to crank out content like this. And yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Take care.